So you're sitting down to GM your first game of Daggerheart. You got your snacks, you got your dice, you got your party full of adventurers ready to realize their tragic yet heroic destiny. But what about the people and the things standing in the way of that tragic yet heroic destiny? Enter Adversaries. We're talking beasts, we're talking bandits, demons, mouthy shopkeepers, price gouging water during a drought, you name it, we got it. By the end of this video, you'll be able to use, choose, and improvise adversaries in Daggerheart like a pro. To get the most out of adversaries in Daggerheart, you need to understand how their stat blocks work. Let's break it down. It all starts with a name. This is what they're called. Probably know that already. Next on the stat block, you'll see an adversary's tier. This will tell you which player character levels the adversary is designed to challenge. Tier 1 is for level 1 PCs, Tier 2 is for level 2 through 4, Tier 3 is for levels 5 through 7, and Tier 4 is for PCs level 8 through 10. Now, if you want to use an adversary that's too strong or weak for your player characters, you can tweak their stats using the Improvising Adversaries section on page 208 of the Daggerheart core rulebook. Next on the stat block is an adversary's type. This tells you what kind of vibe they bring to the function. Minions, bruisers, even the dreaded solo. Mixing different types of adversaries can help create a well-rounded encounter. We'll dig into each type in more detail later, but for right now, variety is your friend. Next, we have a description. Each stat block comes with a quick write-up, including the adversary's overall motivations and what kind of tactics they favor in combat. Think of it like their dating profile, but a little less scary. Next is their difficulty. Instead of evasion like what player characters have, adversaries have a difficulty. This is the number players have to meet or beat when they roll to hit an adversary or overcome any of their nasty little features. Then we have damage thresholds, hit points, and stress. Nothing fancy. Thresholds are thresholds, hit points are hit points, and stress is constant. It's constant. Next, we have an attack modifier. Every time an adversary makes an attack, you add their attack modifier. No surprises here. This is the bonus they bring to every swing, claw, shoot, or stab. This leads us to an adversary's standard attack. Think of it as their go-to move when physically attacking someone else. Now let's talk about an adversary's experiences. Adversaries often have broader experiences than PCs, and you, the GM, can spend fear to apply those experiences to difficulty rolls when a PC targets the adversary, attack rolls, or reaction rolls. So say you've got a Tier 1 merchant with the experience Shrewd Negotiator at a +3, and one of your PCs tries to haggle with them over a health potion. You can spend a fear to jack up their difficulty to 15. I mean, hey, you don't get to the top of the health potion game by being generous, am I right? And finally, we have an adversary's features. These are moves or abilities that give each adversary their own unique flavor. But Marisha, how do I pick which adversaries to use? How many? Can I date them? The answer to all those questions is yes. Yes, you can. And go check out the battle guide section on page 197 and use this simple equation to build your encounter. Multiply the number of PCs in combat by 3, then add 2. This number is how many battle points you have to spend on your encounter. Different types of adversaries cost different amounts of points, so budget accordingly and spend all of your points. There's no rollover or refunds when it comes to battle points. If you don't use them, you lose them. And of course, always be sure to check the Adjusting Battle Points section on page 197, because some factors may increase or decrease the amount of points you have to spend. Now, let's go shopping for some baddies. Minions are your cannon fodder, your red shirts, your soon-to-be splattered extras. Each minion has 1 HP, so they can easily be mowed down. But don't sleep on these baddies. They attack in groups, targeting one player and deal a flat amount of damage per attack. For just 1 battle point, you can throw a number of minions equal to your party size on the board. Bargain of the century, honestly. Support adversaries are your backstage crew, your healers, your buffers, your debuffers. They don't hit hard, but they can make the fight a lot harder for your players if left alone. Many of their abilities require stress to activate, so they often have more stress slots than your average goon. A social adversary won't beat you in a fistfight, but they'll absolutely ruin your reputation at the flea market. Merchants, village elders, and courtiers, these loquacious folk shine in social encounters by dealing out stress, misleading your party, or just disrupting the vibe. Support and social adversaries both cost 1 battle point each, which can mean hell for your ego, but heaven for your budget. Horde adversaries are swarms of smaller or weaker enemies that are easy to hit, but they hit back hard. At first. Once they lose half of their HP, their damage drops by about half as well. Ranged adversaries are your snipers, bowmen, or wand slingers. They hit hard from a distance and they're annoyingly accurate, but once the PCs close distance, they tend to fold like Omar whenever I try to play poker with him. Skulk adversaries thrive by striking from the shadows or isolating a weaker opponent. Their damage is okay under normal conditions, but it can spike tremendously if the target is vulnerable or alone. Then you've got your standard adversaries. These are your bread and butter baddies that have fairly average stats, but sport interesting features that give them pivotal roles in the fiction. Standard, horde, ranged, and skulk adversaries all cost 2 battle points each. Why? Because they're worth it. Leaders, they're the boss bitches. They buff their allies, summon reinforcements, and can spotlight multiple underlings in a single move. They've got stats just a little beefier than their crew, but their most deadly weapon is teamwork. And you can add a leader to your encounter for the reasonable price of 3 battle points. Big, slow, smashy. Bruisers may not land every hit, but when they do, it hurts. Yeah, they're easy to hit, but they soak up damage like a Florida man. They can really ratchet up the tension of an encounter, and that's why they cost a whopping 4 battle points. Finally, you got your solo adversaries. These are your boss monsters, your BBEGs, the true villain behind the curtain. They hit hard, they have lots of HP, and they usually come with powerful features like Relentless, which lets them be spotlit multiple times per GM turn. These big bads will cost you a hefty 5 battle points. Mechanically, an adversary is considered defeated when they mark off their last hit point. Boom, done. But narratively, that's your playground. Let your players help define what defeat looks like. Maybe the villain gets knocked out, arrested, tied up with enchanted vines, or renounces his tyrannical leader and elopes with your character. Or they die. They can also just die. And that's fine too. Yeah, the point is defeat. Defeat isn't always the end. Sometimes it's just an intermission. That's the lowdown on adversaries, your narratively rich, occasionally stabby instruments of conflict. Now, you should go treat yourself by throwing some beautifully balanced nonsense at your players. You've earned it.
Get your sheet together.